Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelorette Recap, a guys review. It's week 5, baby. We got Katie Thurston, week 5. Things are heating up. If you're not there for the right reasons, you gotta go. If you're here for the right reasons, you'll hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get us up to 36,000 subscribers. Today, let's do it. There'll be tons of other content coming out. I'm making 3 videos a day. So much to talk about, so much in the Bachelor news here. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. Now, here's what I do. I take notes, I read them back to you. No edits, just me and a bunch of buttons I keep pressing, and we'll get right into it. If you want extra content, patreon.com/Dave Neal. That's where I've got extra private episodes. I had my Reality Steve podcast interview this week, so hello to all the new people. I did Reality Steve's podcast. He'll be doing mine if you want to hear our conversations. I've recorded a reaction for my Patreon-only members to my conversation with Reality Steve. Recorded it right after I got off the phone with him. So if you want that, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal for all that extra content. In the meantime, let's Bachelorette. It's week 5. Starts with Katie asking Caitlyn about Nick Viall and how she let him on the season late. She was like, oh, how did it go with Nick? You let him on late. Everything was fine. Caitlyn was like, it did not go well. It wasn't a good thing. Not at all. Of course, she ended up with a guy who, they had I've never seen more hatred than Caitlyn's guy, Sean, and Nick Viall. I mean, they hated each other up until the bitter end. What a weird, and then, it didn't work out well with her. But, in hindsight, she found her guy, Jason, so she figured it out. Tayshia enters the dude den, as it were. All the guys in the dude den, the bro pad, whatever. And the guys are like, do we date you too? What's going on? Like, what do we do? We're not used to this. It's usually Chris Harrison. And Tayshia's like, she gives a whole speech. She gives a very nice speech, talks to the guy. She rehearsed it, hit all her lines. And essentially all Tayshia was there to say is, Katie's going to explore a sloppy ninth of mine. She was basically like, there's a guy that I bumped Harrison's with. We kissed. We got to first, second base, depending on how you define it. And she's like, and now Katie's going to go date him. And then she just walks away. And the guys are like, what was that all about? So, they they tease things nonstop here. And then the guys are left to go through the scorecards. They're like, all right, she dated this guy. Could it be, just trying to figure out who it might be. And then, of course, Blake walks in and Aaron goes, Blake. They immediately were like, Blake, this guy is going to be perfect for Katie. They knew he was going to be perfect for Katie. They're both sex positive. In Blake's art class on Tayshia's season, he's drawn some sex toy, and then Katie's got her own, weapons of ass destruction. All right, folks, and that's what we're going to get into here. And so are they. So the guys are immediately like, all right, we're threatened. He's going to be a stud. Greg picks up the one-on-one date card, and they're like, all right, as long as it's not Blake. Blake hasn't even showed up. He's been here for 3 minutes, you know what I mean? As long as it's not Blake. And, of course, it's like, Blake, let's make up for lost time, Katie. And everyone's like, come on. But, of course, we love it. We love it. Why do these guys feel entitled to her? People go, well, why didn't they date in the off-season if they really loved it? Who cares? The goal is for Katie to find a guy, so they throw in a few curveballs. Of course they held on to Blake. They wanted to let all the other drama play out, and then it's like, oh, that old mid-season doldrums. Like the show, they know their demographics. They know people love the beginning and they love the ending. But in the meantime, what's going on? I don't know. Throw in a couple past contestants maybe. So anyway, Katie says she's going to figure out on this one-on-one date if Blake's not worth the time. Blake tells Katie he's been terrified of horses since a kid. And of course, the Bachelor producers, they've got Blake's psychological charts. They're like, yep, he's afraid of horses. Let's do the horse date. Why don't we do the horse date? See if we can buck one out here. I don't know. Blake's behind Katie. He goes, let's go, Katie. Doesn't know where the horse throttle is. Do I hit her on this side or what do I do? Do I have to apologize to the horse before I kick it in the groin? Blake tells Katie he loves African wildlife. If you didn't know this about Blake, he owns an owl. He's a conservationist. He loves wildlife, which is great. I mean, obviously he doesn't love horses, but smaller wildlife. If you love African wildlife, that's important to bring into the conversation. He sure talks a big game. I ain't lying. All right, folks, come on, let's get into it. Those are puns, folks. Keep it along. Katie says, hey, you're a good kisser too. Check. She says check. I love that. She's like, all right, kisses, African wildlife, beard. You can be a good dad. Got a nice dad bod. Good kisser? All right, check that. She's just keeping track. Scorecard. Dinner date. Blake asks about her sex positive message. Katie's like, well, you should have been here 2 episodes ago. Katie explains her story to him. And Blake, look, he just has good responses to everything. He's really doing well he's top of the charts right now, right? If we weren't on Team Blake before the one-on-one, we're all in now, right? For the audience, right? You got to be all in. They're just having a great date. They're having a great date. All right, giddy up. Horse puns. Blake says, today could be the first date with my future wife, which, you weigh that with a grain of salt. I feel like they make every guy say that, Lane Hardy performs a private concert. Katie says, I could see him at the end of this. And I'm thinking, like, Blake or Lane Hardy? Who could you see at the end? Like, Lane Hardy's like, can I join? How does this work? Do I get a dib? Does anyone else think, so here's my question for you guys. Does anyone else yell when a couple canoodles? Like when Katie started dancing with Blake and he put his hands in that slow dance, like a little room for the Lord. They always say, leave a little room for the Holy Spirit in the center because you're like dancing all close. You're in ninth grade. You don't know better. And as soon as Blake's touched her lower back, I was like, yeah, boy, go get it. My fiance's like, who are you? And I'm just like, I'm cheering for him. You know what I mean? Guys got to cheer each other on, Does anyone, leave a comment, does anyone else scream or make any audible noises when a good hookup's happening? There's someone's rolling through the hay and you're like, check for ticks. You know what I mean? I don't know. All right. So anyway, they do their date. Group date, Wales and La Costa. Wales and La Costa host this event. The winning team hangs with Katie after. Losing team goes home. I'm sure this will be a respectful matchup. No way to think this will escalate because men have too much testosterone and we don't know how to communicate properly. Looking at you, patriarchy. We're all a part of the problem. The producers are part of the problem because they call the event Bash Ball or Ball Bash. Either way. It's like rugby, but for basketball. Not nude dodgeball, though. This is progress. Yosef. They understood your complaints. They read your Yelp review. No nude dodgeball. Now they're wearing suspenders, okay? They got those little, wrestling suspenders. You got to make sure you hold the shorts up. You don't need those things to fall off there. It pushes their nipples in, you know what I mean? All right. Hunter spears Mike P, then goes up to Katie and says, that one's for you. He's like, that one's for you, Katie. It's like, okay, come on. You're twice his size. Tackling someone who weighs less than you, that's not cool, especially because he's a dad. You're out there doing squats at the gym and he's fathering. And I understand Hunter's a dad too. But the point is, he's a younger father, okay? The guy's just out there, doing mommy and me classes or whatever you do as a dad. I don't know. I'm not a father yet. We'll figure it out. Yet one day, we're not pregnant. No rumors. No Bachelor Power Recap or rumors. That'll be the day. Mike, you better join the Patreon then because diapers be expensive. Am I right? Michael A. gets speared in the back from Aaron. No, it wasn't Aaron. It's Justin. Michael A. gets speared in the back by Justin. We had to pause this and rewind it, watching it like the Zabruta film. Who did it? Was he on a hill? I kind of want to be mad, that this happened, but I'm also happy it was the artsy guy. Get that kind of lick in. It's always like, oh, the artsy guy. And it's like, that's a buff artsy guy. He's out there leveling dudes. He's painting landscapes. He's the full package. Katie gives them all participation trophies. She calls it. She's like, all right, no, we're done. She doesn't play by the rules. This is a good example. By all means, the show wanted her to let them fight to the death. And she's like, we're done. Blows the whistle. LaCosta, you got to take them home. And then the catering guy's like, I only made enough for 7 guys. We got 14 guys. Everyone's sharing those little stuffed hot dogs, Speaking of stuffed hot dogs, those outfits, am I right, guys? Wow. We're heating up. Boom shakalaka. All right, she's got a great evening dress on. She does the evening dress. More on the evening dress in Tasha's take. If you want the fashion talk, let me tell you something. You go, why do I care about fashion? Go watch Tasha's take and you'll find out why. It's a ton of fun. You know why? Because I don't know anything about it. And my fiance knows everything. And it makes for a funny conversation. That's how you make fire. A little bit of friction. You know what I mean? So she's got a great evening dress on. We're going to talk more about that. Michael smooches Katie. He asks, can I kiss you? And she goes, all you want. He's like, be careful. You know what I mean? Just going to not let any guys in. Connor sings her a song about his unbuttoned shirt. He's like, my buttons no longer work or something. I wasn't listening, but I could just imagine that's what the song was about. She cries. They kiss. That's why you play guitar. Teach your kid how to play guitar when they're little. And if they're undersized or a little quirky or a bad kisser, they still make it to the 7th round because they can play acoustic, all right? The more you know. All right. Hunter shows Katie his dad photos. First of all, is that even a legal move? That's not fair. I mean, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, oh yeah, I could spit you some game about why I'm the best guy for you. But look, I procreated people already. And that's me holding the people I procreated. And she's like, I don't know why, but my ovaries are feeling something. It's like, that's called genetics. That's called procreation. Hunter shows Katie his dad photos. I said that. It's primal, baby. Michael A. tells his story to the guys. Oh, man. I love that Michael A's telling the story. He's like, yesterday would have been my wife's birthday. And then the guys are like, we didn't even know, because we forget that he hasn't told the story to everyone. He says he didn't tell his story right away because he wanted the guys to get to know him. And I totally get it. Imagine pulling that card out, you know what I mean? He let the guys really get to know him, and then he showed his trauma. And we could beat a dead horse, Blake would know, about, because he's afraid of him. All right, we could beat a dead horse with this story about Michael's trauma, but it's good. It's good to talk about this. These guys, they bonded so well with him. We got to watch this conversation. You know what I mean? Michael says, you find positive even when the world is falling apart. Yesterday was my wife's birthday. Man, rough. If you saw the videos I made about Michael a few weeks ago, I'm not going to lie, I could barely keep it together. And I was like, I really don't want to have to redo this video and have it look like I cried. But I mean, you can't feel for the guy. They were married they were together for 16 years. He's got a baby. Excuse me. So we know this is going to be a problem when they show the previews for future episodes, that Michael's got a young son, and he's sad, and he misses his kid, and he's the sole breadwinner and all that. It's just wild. Greg breaks down. Did you see this? I mean, this was amazing. This hit Greg Grippo hard. Now, of course, Greg Grippo's kind of on the other side of things where he lost a parent. So, if you didn't think about it that way, Greg Grippo, there's rumors, we made stories about it, like, oh, Greg's a bad guy, or some girl said he's not a good boyfriend, or this or that. I always say you try the best with the information you have. And maybe Greg's not ready for marriage. We'll have to see. Maybe he's still young. Maybe he still has F-boy energy and needs to burn off. Who the hell knows? But in that moment, we felt empathy for both Greg and Michael. There was a bond there. It's really good to see that. So Greg breaks down. He says he walks around, Greg speaking of Michael, he walks around with a smile every day. Puts life into perspective. And you have to remember those moments when you think you have it rough. Not to say we all need toxic positivity, like, someone could always have it worse. But you see somebody who forges their own path like Michael, somebody that got dealt a tough card, which is worse than not finding somebody, I think. The fact that he did find his person. They got some senseless cancer. They rang the bell. They thought they beat it. They thought they celebrated. They thought it was over. Passes away a few months later. Heartbreaking stuff. And then here Michael is. If he doesn't make it to the finish line, his story is this growth of grace. Grace is one of those words you say often, but you don't really think about what it means. Michael is grace, okay? Michael is the male version of grace. A guy who just got dealt the worst hand possible. And here he is saying, you find the positive even when the world is falling apart. Just amazing. Michael says, don't waste your time. And that's the advice we can pass on to each other. Don't waste your time. If you're on the fence about making a move, if you're on the fence about jumping into a new creative path or a new this or new that, don't waste your time. This is the only ones you got. Katie tells Greg he has resting sad face. Greg's like, well, I just talked to Michael. What do you want? And poor Michael's like, I'm not trying to make people cry, but it's a powerful story. We're all like, oh, it's just the pollen out here. Those fireworks from last night really got to me. No, it's because of you, Michael. That's why we're crying, you jerk. Greg says he's completely crazy for Katie, even though he's got resting sad face. RSF. Katie gave Hunter the rose. Everyone was surprised. He has the kid pics in the wallet. That's why he got the rose. He's got kid pics in the wallet. Aaron is now calling Hunter fake. Oh, from one accusation to the other. Does anyone get to cry wolf like Aaron? He's like, that guy's fake. He's out. Well, now that guy's even more fake. He's out. You're all fake. Everyone's fake. You're the fakest of the fake. Nobody's more real than me. You're also fake. That's just a random character I made up. That couldn't be any political person. It's a witch hunt. You're all... You saw the other video of me. I got told I was a huge a-hole on Twitter because I was... whatever the case may be, if I'm that bad of a guy, why are you still watching? Consume it. Come on. We're having an open dialogue. Why are you so... okay. I digress here. Oh, boy. You got me feeling it, Michael. Aaron is now calling Hunter fake. Okay, so they go back and forth. The hunter became the hunted. Oh, boy. There it is, folks. Blake and Andrew S. hanging out alone in the house. By the way, last video, I referred to Andrew S. as Spencer the whole video. I got so many people commenting, being like, his name's Andrew. And it's like, I understand that, but S stands for Spencer, so I just called him by his last name. You know what I mean? So I'll make sure to mess someone else up here just to throw people off. So Blake Horstman and Andrew S. hanging out alone in the house. I bet they get along great. Blake Moynes and Andrew S., I bet they get along great. I can't imagine them being anything but besties after all this, because I can't imagine Andrew S. being anything but someone's bestie. He just seems like a great guy. You know, there's some people that smile and they say the right things. Andrew S. seems like a great guy. And Blake does too. I don't see them having any drama. The only drama that Blake had last season was other guys not liking him because he like crashed a date. But even that was kind of like a passive move by him. He was going for the gold. Andrew gets the next one-on-one date. That's the next step. Andrew S. Spencer, date time. They go on a date. They do the lanterns in the woods date. Very nice. Check for ticks. Very original Bachelor move. I mean, they did this last season, right? In Nemacolin or whatever. Hey, you know what? Come on. They're quarantining. I get it. You get one date in the woods. You get a date on a horse. They're going to burn something. You know, they do that effigy date. All right, sure. Whatever. I understand. No worries. I'll take this over them going to Vienna or so. You know what I mean? I'll take this over seeing stupid airlines. Oh, what, they wear wooden shoes here, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Clearly, I'm not that cultured. They talk about how they'll do Sundays. Lazy Kate calls herself Lazy Kate, wants to sleep till 11 a.m. and then do brunch. She says sleep till 11 a.m., but I'm thinking they got some other business happening. And then they're going to do brunch, which is, lady, that's the ladies' Super Bowl on Sundays when you can do brunch. And I don't blame them. Brunch is great. We love brunch. The ball portion of the date is cute. They light up the balloons. Tell me a secret. It's that one balloon says, tell me a secret. And she goes, I like you. Boom. They're hooking up. I'm loving it. He's like, tell me another secret. What else do you got? What's happening? Dinner date. Andrew brings up being a black man and Katie being a white woman. It's a great date. Andrew goes, look, I see a future with you, but we got to knock these conversations out or we do not pass go. So they have a good convo about mixed children. You know, he said, I dated someone and while she wasn't racist, she wanted to know, like, if her kids don't look white, what kind of problem will that be? And that's an honest conversation they have to be. It's like the kids will or could possibly look differently than the mom. And in that case, you'll for the first time have to reckon with a system of injustice and different conversations and this and that. It was a beautiful convo. You know, for Blake and Katie to have their conversation about sexual assault, for this conversation to happen, we're seeing storylines have a little bit more of a delicate messaging, which is so important. It's so important to show these conversations and show that we don't all look the same and that we don't all go through life down the same path. That's important for growth. That's important for building empathy with others. This is good. Beautiful convo. Katie says, all I want is love and to have a beautiful family regardless of how they look. Said what she needed to say. I believe her. They do a hot tub. Okay, so they do the hot tub. Now, here's the question. Here's the question for everybody. Would you rather have a hot tub date or a private concert date? Now, private concert date. You get a song they're singing for you, the lights. It's a really nice date. You get to kiss. You're dancing. Hot tub, you got the bubbles, okay? Now, I asked this in the Discord chat, which if you aren't a member of the Discord, we chat during the episode. It's a total blast. You should come in. There's 130 people in there, probably a couple dozen at a time. It's a ton of fun. I'll put a link. There'll be a link in the link tree below. You can go click on the Discord. But everyone in the chat said hot tub. So my question is to you guys. Can anyone defend a private concert date over the hot tub date? I don't know. When it comes to getting frisky, having a nice Mai Tai, you're doing your thing, then they got the bubbles, they make the thing so the camera, like that's the only place the cameras can't see is right below those bubbles unless they get one of those GoPros under there. So you can get a little frisky, you know what I mean? The pre-rose ceremony cocktail party, Justin and Katie play a cute game. They go, he goes, a year without music or a year without sex? And Katie says like the wrong one. And she goes, wait. I just want sex. Whatever it is, I want the sex one. And he's like, okay, noted. She's like, we'll sing our songs. Who cares? We'll just hum songs all year. They just have like hymnals. Hunter sets up his telescope and Aaron's like, we don't have telescope time. They're all like Judge Hunter. They're like, what are you doing setting up a telescope? How much time are you going to spend calibrating it? We don't do astrology on a group date, guy. You know what I mean? We're not charting the stars on a group date. No one's got time for astrology. James asked to interrupt, and Hunter's like, I'm going to need at least a couple more minutes. It's like, bro, you're not shopping for a sofa. You know, I need a couple more minutes before I make her fall in love with me. It doesn't happen like that. James just looks like an entrepreneur. Whenever you can pull off a gold chain and like a black turtleneck, you just look like, I don't know, he looks like if The Rock was, owned Apple or something. All right, I don't know. We try our best. Hunter says, I lost some time and I'm going to get it back. That's how it goes. He goes, I lost some time and I'm going to get it back. And it's like, all right, whoa, chill. You became a Bond villain. Trey calls Hunter a Thomas and that sets off Hunter. He's like, how dare you call me a Thomas? I'm not a Thomas. Thomas is now like a slur. I'm not no T word. Hunter says they thought we were on a different line of bro code. Oh, we're on this bro code? Hold on a second. I thought we were on 7-3 part 2 sub-article bro code. Oh, if we're going to go to that bro code, yeah, I shouldn't have done that at all, but I just thought we were all every man for himself bro code. Okay, wrong bro code? Okay, new bro code. Bro code is not that complicated. You either get approval of the bros or you don't. But bro code also doesn't really apply when you're all trying to date the same girl, because bro code is don't try to date the same girl. So all the other bro codes, okay, so here it is. So bro code, don't date the same girl. Well, we violated that bro code, which means all the other bro codes are violated. We got no bro code. There's no bro code. And for that, I need to make sure we know. Sometimes, every once in a while, I need to let you guys know if we have an issue here. We go to it. Did Hunter violate the bro code? It appears the bro code is negated due to the fact that they're all trying to bump Harrisons with the same person. No bro code violation. All right, you heard it here first, folks. Okay, that's it. On the fly editing. Yep. Classic television happening right now. All right, the hunter became the hunted. We got that down. Can we just get a timer? All right, I already have it. So yeah, we'll keep it. We'll go back in here. So let's do it. So for the next minute here. So the deal is, I think they need to hire me moving forward. Now, hear me out. Everyone's worried about who's getting more time than the other person, and I think if Ref Dave could be out there providing equal playing time, you know what I mean? You set up too much time calibrating the telescope or whatever. Time's over. He's next. James is like, I guess I'm next. You know, it's like Ref Dave told me so. Tap him. They're in a fantasy suite. Too much time. Too much hands to the face. You got to go. You know what I mean? Holding. 15-yard penalty. Lost it down. All right. So anyway, that's that. Okay. Yeah. You know, every once in a while, Ref Dave can come in. And let me tell you something. Not the best $10 I ever spent, but that's fine. Hey, Bachelor, if you want to call me up, I'll come down and officiate. You know what I mean? All right. Line judge. Show us your hands. Offsides. Rose ceremony, first episode where it starts to matter. Oh, we're going a little long here. All right. Courtney, he gets a round of applause from the guys. I just think that's great. You know what I mean? Is this a new thing? I don't remember guys clapping when someone leaves. And they're not clapping because he's gone. Like, we liked you, man. Clearly, Courtney didn't violate bro code. Courtney, still in good standing in the bro code. Nice to know. Why do I have it? I have a lot of props this year. Have you guys noticed? A lot of props this year. Let me tell you something. This season is going to pick up. There's obviously relationships that started off really strong. Blake's coming in looking really hot. It's a good season, guys. I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving there's a new boundaries being set with how Katie isn't. I don't think she's being as produced as hard as previous bachelorettes. You know, she's like, all right, I'm calling it. We're going here. She's like running the show, which can be very good. We'll see if the outcome results in a female bachelorette running the show and not letting the producers kind of tell her what to do and pull her along. So, and then of course, Tayshia and Caitlin, let me know how they're doing. I mean, it's hard to judge them. They're only on the show. I mean, look, it's just like Chris Harrison. He was on the show for 40 seconds an episode, so that's what they're doing. I mean, you got Caitlin and Tayshia walk all the way out, and Tayshia's like, it's the last rose. And then Caitlin's like, and then they walk away. I'm like, did Caitlin not even talk? You know? I don't know. Anyway, tomorrow we got a ton of content coming out. I'm going to do a Bachelor in Paradise spoiler. If you like spoilers, I label them on all the videos. So if you don't like spoilers, you'll know if it's a spoiler video. So no worries. I have some people saying, I can't follow you, Dave. You post spoilers. And it's like, have a little, stop yourself from clicking on those videos. But in the meantime, my channel, Tasha Courtney's got the fashion channel. And then I got Dave Neal Vlogs. I'll be posting my firework episode of the vlog this Thursday. So tons of content coming out. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 36,000 subscribers today. We're going to get this puppy going on our way to 50,000. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Leave a comment, hot tub or private concert. I want to hear from you. All right, folks, live life in a way where we can share that love, even if your situation sucks. Take Michael's advice and live that good life. Bye, guys.